Ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael Fazio, and today's dissertation is going to be about the pictograph that which I call the Ark of the Covenant, that is in fact the entire green side or reverse of the $1 bill that you see behind me. I'm going to prove this to you by showing you what is known as the ringlets, which there are in fact 4 ringlets, and anybody that reads Exodus and the instructions given to Moses by what we perceive to be God, but was not God. I'm going to change the course of history at this point, and I'm going to tell you that the God that gave instructions to Moses in Exodus was in fact a godlike being, but I believe this being not to be the one true God of all the universe, although it spoke for this God. It is also not the God of Horus, or the bearer of light, or Lucifer, the light bearer, because Lucifer later hijacked the 3,300 pictographs that exists on the obverse and reverse of the $1 bill. So what you have been led to believe, that the Masons or their ancestral predecessors created these 3,300 pictographs, is incorrect. I'm going to tell you that I know about more pictographs on this piece of artwork that could have only been created with a computer that is far more advanced than anything we had in 1934. And if it was possible to create this series of pictographs known as the $1 bill in today's world, it still couldn't be done and do what it does, because the pictographs on the reverse and obverse of the $1 bill are part of a codices or codex that is directly related to the Living Bible, and I can prove that to you as well. So let us start with something simple. Let us start with the 4 ringlets that you can look up on the internet by placing 4 ringlets on the Ark of the Covenant into a search engine. And let me show you where those ringlets are, and then I'm going to show you Revelation 4 verses 6 through 8 and prove to you that the beasts, the 4 beasts that are spoken about in Revelation chapter 4 verses 6 through 8 are in fact the beasts that occur on the reverse of the $1 bill, with the understanding that a beast is an animal creature. We are beasts. An oxen is a beast. An eagle is a beast. Any mammal is a beast by definition, which is why the book of Revelation could never have been interpreted until I discovered a methodology in which to relate the words from the Bible to the pictographs on the $1 bill, and how to discern what the book of Revelation was discussing in the first place by utilizing the terminology of the word beast, not in today's world that we consider a beast only an oxen, but in fact the terminology where back 4,000 years ago a beast could have been any mammal. And that is how I came to the conclusions as to the nature of the pictographs on the obverse and reverse of the $1 bill. Now we're going to start with the 4 ringlets, and I'm going to zoom in on the 4 ringlets right now and show you where these ringlets are, because these are simple, and I want to start you off with something simple. This is one ringlet, and this is another ringlet. Now the ringlets, as depicted or denoted in Exodus, are the ringlets that circumvent the poles of shittim wood. So if this pointer that you see before you is a representation of the pole of shittim wood, what I am covering up on the screen is this white line. This is the pole of shittim wood, and I'm going to show you two of the four ringlets. This is one ringlet, and you can see it grasps the pole like this. This is another ringlet that grasps the pole like that. Therefore, those are two ringlets. On the bottom, there are two more ringlets. One is on the bottom facing this way, and one is on the bottom facing the other way. Similar to these ringlets on the top, they are directly below these ringlets and just slightly off center. So those are the four ringlets spoken about in the Bible. Now, to go and prove to you that this is in fact the Ark of the Covenant, or a representation, again, let us talk about the Ark of the Covenant for a moment, in that the Ark of the Covenant had a mercy seat where the energy of the Lord, or the Shinka of the Lord, sat upon the Ark of the Covenant and guided the wandering Hebrews through the desert with a pillar of fire at night and a pillar of smoke during the day. So the energy of the Lord sat on the mercy seat of gold. Now, we all know that it says the mercy seat is made of gold. But here is another analogy that people miss when they're trying to find a perspective that associates itself with my perspective. The word gold 4,000 years ago was directly related or interchangeable with the word white. So white and the word gold are the same word. So if this is white, and this is the center of the mercy seat that you see behind me, and that is where the Lord God sat, his energy, or the Lord God's energy, would theoretically sit in the center of the mercy seat. And in this case, if the word one, as in one God, as in God we trust one, in God we trust one. Therefore, this representation and the word one and the words in God we trust one are a representation of the Lord God, but more to the point, those words represent the Lord God's first of 10 commandments, thou shalt have no other gods before me. So now we have two references, three references to the Ark of the Covenant. The center of the mercy seat is gold, and white is interchangeable with gold. The Lord God sat at the center of the mercy seat, and the word in God we trust one represents the Lord God. And we have the four ringlets, which are denoted here, 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 and here. Those are three undeniable facts in relationship to the Ark of the Covenant. However, there are the words that are associated with Revelation 4:6 that I am going to show you now, that are a representation of the word. Okay, we lost that. Let's see if we can find that rather fast. I don't think so. Yeah, there it is right there. Okay. The words, also in front of the throne, there was what looked like a sea of glass. The sea of glass is represented on the reverse of the $1 bill as the crystalline nature of the word one itself. So it says, also in front of the throne there was what looked like a sea of glass, clear as crystal. So now, this is another of those interpretations that I tried to describe to you, that is the one thing that stops people from understanding how to interpret the book of Revelation and or the pictographs on the reverse of the $1 bill. Now, this segment that you see behind the magnifying glass, when you blow it up 400 or 500 times, is a trapezoidal figure that is shaped like a crystal and crystalline in nature. It's a trapezoidal figure that is shaped like a crystalline structure in nature, and you can look at this yourself. I'm not going to do it. Cancel. Okay, I'm going to start this one over again because I'm really not happy with the way it worked out with those words. I think I'll start with the words first.